Frequency Podcast Network. Stories that matter, podcasts that resonate.
The Bank of Canada holds steady on interest rates as inflation remains stable and the economy adapts to U.S. tariffs. Hi, I'm Brajesh Dave. This is Big Headlines, everything you need to know to be in the know in just 5 minutes. The Bank of Canada has held its key interest rate steady at 2.25%. We're now joined by senior business editor Mike Eppel. So, Mike, how will this impact consumers?
Rajesh, the central bank is holding interest rate policy steady and signaling it could stay on the sidelines for the foreseeable future. The big wild card, how the trade talks go this summer with the United States. The Bank of Canada says the economy is still feeling the effects of the trade overhang coming into 2026. Inflation is moderating somewhat, depends on who you ask and how much you're paying at the grocery store. Nevertheless, it says until we see some sort of resolution on trade, that'll be the determining factor whether they raise or lower interest rates before the end of the year.
Thanks, Mike. Now, this is a breaking news story. You can check the latest updates at citynews.ca. Affordability, the economy, and trade are expected to be high on the agenda as the country's premiers meet in Ottawa for 2 days. The leaders will want to show a united Team Canada front as trade tensions rise again with the country's biggest trading partner. U.S. tariffs are still hitting some Canadian goods, and the meetings come just ahead of negotiations to renew North America's main free trade deal. It comes as the federal housing minister says he wants to see provinces step up their funding to address homelessness.
I, in particular, need to see support from provinces for supportive housing, transitional housing that helps people off the street and out of shelters into stable housing.
The premiers are expected to speak with Prime Minister Mark Carney tomorrow. Also making big headlines, Team Canada's opening ceremony flag bearers have been revealed, with just over a week to go until the 2026 Olympic Winter Games in Italy. Mogul skier Mikael Kingsbury and ski cross racer Marielle Thompson will carry Canada's flags. Thompson actually won ski cross gold back in 2014 and a silver in 2022, but the 33-year-old says this will be her first opening ceremonies.
When they gave me the call that I'd been selected, I was shocked because I knew they had so many incredible athletes to pick from.
The Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics begin next Friday. As immigration enforcement crackdowns continue in Minneapolis, support for protesters pours in from this country, with dozens holding a vigil in Toronto. More than 150 people gathered outside the U.S. consulate for the event honoring Alex Preddy, the American nurse who was shot and killed by ICE agents in Minneapolis. Attendees say they're standing in solidarity with those facing the Trump administration's policies.
There's just something so profoundly wrong about knowing that this is happening next door to us, that we could potentially be the people who are being killed right now in the streets were I born on the other side of the border.
In Minneapolis, political tensions are escalating after a congresswoman was attacked while speaking in that city. Ilhan Omar was answering questions at a town hall when a man reportedly approached the stage and sprayed her with a brown liquid. The man was arrested, and Omar continued to speak out against the ICE presence in Minneapolis. U.S. President Donald Trump responding to the incident on social media, claiming Omar ordered the attack on herself. To the UK now, where a woman now officially leads the Church of England for the first time in its more than 500-year history. Her name is Dame Sarah Mullally, and she has been confirmed as the 106th Archbishop of Canterbury with a ceremony at London's St. Paul's Cathedral. This is the first time a woman will take on the principal spiritual role in the church. Mullally addressed that during an interview with the BBC today.
I have both in my secular role as well as in the church experienced a misogyny at times, and I think that I've learnt it's the first thing you have to talk about it so that you bring it out into the open. And I'm conscious that being in this role, it's important for me to speak of it.
The 63-year-old cleric is a former cancer nurse. In the coming weeks, she'll meet with the King, who's the head of the church, as well as the Prime Minister of the UK. If you haven't listened yet, today on the Big Story podcast, would more inconvenience make us happier? Host Catherine Jeté speaks to psychotherapist and author Isra Nasser.
You know, we think, okay, great, Instacart, I'm going to get my groceries. It's going to be so much more efficient. But then the order comes, half of it's not what you wanted. And you have to make all these substitutions. You have to maybe change your menu and change your routine for the week based on what actually did come to the door. Whereas if you'd gone to the grocery store, it might have been, you know, an hour out of your day and then it would have been over. Like, are we even getting what we sign up for with these things that are supposed to bring us all this convenience and efficiency?
Not always. And it's almost always more expensive, right? To go, the same thing is more expensive because there's a charge. Obviously, because someone is putting in labor. It makes sense. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, but there's also this cost to it, right?
You can listen to the full episode wherever you get your podcasts. Now you're in the know. Thank you for listening to Big Headlines. Make sure you follow, share, and review Big Headlines. Enrica Amaturo is our lead producer. I'm Virjesh Dave. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.